Hello again, my friends, and welcome back to another segment of Miamireveale. Today is June 10th, 2024. And as usual, my friend Correa is here. He has 43 years of law enforcement experience, and we're going to tell you about not what we've read, but what we've read and seen and experienced. And today I want to talk, Nelson, with this this fiasco that's going on with, the best way to put it is the he said, she said situation that's going on in Washington. You read the article about interview with Stephanopoulos, and I'm not going to call him president, but Biden.
Yeah, I saw the interview also.
What's your opinion on that? Because, this reminds me of when we were back in the police department in the city of Miami, and the corruption was just in your face, and there was nothing we could do about it. And we tried. We went to the FBI, we went to the state attorney's office, hell, we went to the FDLE, and nobody would believe us.
Yeah, nobody wanted to get involved.
No, nobody wanted to get involved, even though that's their job.
That's correct. Nobody wanted to get involved.
So we're paying people or agencies through our tax dollars to keep things like this from happening, and they don't care, and they don't move a finger.
Well, that's the bang word. They don't care.
And then, I remember that when we went most of the FDLE, and they said, well, Cousin Fernandez Rondo, the state attorney, she won't prosecute. And I've said it a million times, of course not. She is conflicted out of prosecuting any official or elected official or any law enforcement official, because they've either gave her money for campaigns or she knows them personally. It doesn't matter. My opinion is that somebody that's been there so long, the outcome is going to be, you are going to be conflicted. Because you know everybody. Everybody knows you. You go to fundraisers, and you steal money from people or take money from people to use it to promote your own campaign, and just continue the small ball effect.
It's a cycle, and it continues on and on and on and on.
But what really shocks me, it doesn't shock me anymore, is the fact that now we're looking at the entire nation at the embarrassment of these interviews and these one-sided debate, because Trump answered all his questions. The other guy looked like he was, in zombie mode.
And supposedly he had the questions beforehand.
Well, they all do. That's just part of the agreement that they do pre interviews or pre-debates. And that's how they prepare to make their answers. So,
I didn't know that. I thought they went in there kind of blind.
Well, that's what they say, but we know the truth. We know that they prep for it. And in fact, I know politicians that unless you give them the question beforehand, they won't even do the interview.
Yeah, that's true. There's some of them that will not do it.
Yep.
Biden is one of them. Unless we gave him the questions ahead of time.
Who's that?
President Biden.
Well, let's keep it even closer to our hometown. How about crazy limp Correa? He won't do an interview unless he feels like it's to his benefits, or he gets the questions in advance. And then, if it's on a radio interview, he will not answer any callers or take any callers' calls, because everything is a setup against him.
Yeah, I know.
I've never seen so many abuse politicians in Miami-Dade County or any other county in my lifetime. Nobody's guilty, even though here's the evidence. Oh, I didn't do it. It's all lies. They got it against me.
Oh, well, they got Correa good though.
Well, what goes around comes around. Okay, and then, this scumbag, Dia de la Portilla, is saying, oh, everything is a lie, everything was made up, but his own brother testified against him for immunity. His brother ran for a judge's seat about a year ago, I believe, and he lost, flat out lost. Because, the entire nation is becoming aware or waking up as to the corruption that our family fled from an island and came here to not go through all that crap.
That's true.
My grandfather was a German man, and his family was part Jewish, and they fled Europe because of the persecution of the Jews. Now, I'm not for or against any religion because I'm not religious at all. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not religious. But I see videos of Jews spitting on Catholic or Christian people in the so-called Holy Land. So I don't see the difference between one or the other.
Well,
It's just you're all praying to the same so-called God that somebody made up or maybe somebody saw, and that's where the gotcha moment. Well, you must have faith, but faith in what?
there's a lot of atheists out there now, growing in big numbers.
Well, because everything's massive faith coming out is just a fraud, a way to control the masses. I'm not saying that faith or religion is bad. I'm saying that, the divide and conquer against religion is just a way to control everybody, brainwash.
Right.
Now let's go back to the interview with Stephanopoulos and Biden. I saw it and I read about articles that came out, and here's what completely and totally just put me on a reality slap. The president, or the so-called president of a free world with 5,000 nuclear weapons that we know of, or that they tell us, enough to devastate the entire planet, had a bad night.
That's what he says. He had a bad night during the presidential debate. But what if he has a bad night or a bad day where he makes a bad decision and decides to send nuclear bombs to another country?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I took notes, and here's one of the things that I wrote down, and because this is a comedy, this can't be for real, but it is. What would he do if at 3 o'clock in the morning, in case of a war or attack or natural disaster, oh, I can't get to that because I'm sleeping. Oh, I can't get to that because I have insomnia.
Well, you notice he said now that he's not taking any interviews or doing anything after 8 o'clock at night.
Well, that's, I didn't know that, but, well,
He said that.
That leads me to, well, that parallels exactly what I just mentioned. What's he going to say? I'm too busy. I'm sleepy.
That's what he said. He needs to sleep.
Well, we all need our sleep. But when you get a job like this, the Supreme Court and everybody else has said, when you're a public figure, everything is public. Your entire life is public. And that's a decision that you made when you ran for office.
That's correct.
Okay? That's a trade-off. Because, we, the people, we want transparency. We want to know what the hell our abused tax dollars are going to, and for what.
And we deserve that. We pay a lot of taxes. We pay a lot of federal taxes. We deserve to know.
And they don't come down.
Oh, no, never.
Okay, but, Biden's son, you know, a proven pedophile, pedophilia on his laptop. Okay, in the Bible, in whatever testament, the new or the old, it says there, "Thou shalt not covet thy brother's wife." And what does he do? His brother, who was, I think, more a man than his brother, his father, and everybody else put together, who went and fought in Afghanistan. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. But he did it. He did it because he says, "I'm not more special than anyone else." I respect that. You know, too bad he died from a brain tumor. And I gotta say, you know what? It's unfortunate it's not hereditary. That might seem cruel or bad, but you know, in these moments of crisis, you know, we gotta take the gloves off and just call it what it is. Call it what it is. You know, then I saw another interview with Biden, and man, he seemed crystal clear on everything. Even his face was glowing.
I wonder what they dosed them up with.
Well, that leads into my next question and comment, Nelson. Remember what the DRE stands for?
Drug recognition expert.
And are you one?
I am.
Am I one?
Yes, you are.
We both became that, the first to become that in the state of Florida.
Yes.
And we went and taught. God, I even went to Arkansas to teach. And you went
all
to
over the United States.
Man, you went to Puerto Rico.
I went to Puerto Rico, Little Rock, Arkansas. I mean, I went all over the Los Angeles, Orlando.
I see. I never went to Los Angeles. I did to Orlando and the other places. And we did this to protect the citizens that pay us to protect them by getting people under the influence of drugs off the street and preventing them from killing others, innocent others, and families.
Yeah, we're driving a motor vehicle.
You know, with God knows how many things, you know, when I saw his face, I said, oh my God, they shut him up with some kind of stimulant, or probably shut him up with some kind of stimulant, or God knows what else, because it was night and day.
Yes.
So,
he didn't look good in the presidential debate at all.
no, he looked like he was about to fall asleep. And that's not my opinion. That's historical and visual facts stated by, even Stephanopoulos says, I don't think that he can survive another 4 years.
All right, he should step out of the race.
Well,
He should listen to the lawmakers. His wife, I'm surprised, is letting him go through all this, being that she's a doctor and he's in no condition.
No, but she has a doctorate degree, but not in medicine.
Oh, I thought it was in medicine.
No. And that's one of the things that officials and congressmen and senators say, hey, why are we calling her a doctor? She has a PhD in, I think, psychology or teaching or whatever, but she's not an MD.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, see,
I learned something.
Well, these are the things that are kept from the general knowledge of the public. We'll hang a 3-letter thing that all of us are trained to believe means this or that. You know, I'm an aircraft engineer. You know that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I went to school for. 4.5 years. Right? Graduated, got, everything from the FAA. I don't regret it because I love engineering and aircrafts. I hate to fly because I know what's happening, but that's a different story. And then here it says, critics pile on Biden's following ABC's interview, blasts his refuses to commit to cognitive tests, disqualifying. What is cognitive test, Nelson?
It's to see if he's in touch with reality. If he knows what's going on around him, his surrounding, if he's, like we say, sharp.
And that was one of the things that you and I were trained to detect, right?
Yes.
And just by seeing his personality, his facial expression, one was, some guy melting on a podium, and then the other interview, somebody that was wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and getting ready to get it on or do whatever. And isn't that the same things that we used to run across?
Yes, a lot of times.
Too many times. I remember the time that, remember we arrested a doctor? It was around, 11 o'clock, 11:30. And he was strung out on stimulants, probably cocaine. I don't know what it was. We did our diarrhea examination, and we determined or came to the conclusion that he was, totally on a stim, whether it was cocaine or amphetamines or whatever it was. And remember, this is the most important part. Remember what he told us?
Refresh my memory.
What time can I get out of jail? And you told him what? 8 hours or something like that.
You gotta wait 8 hours.
Back then it was like 8 hours. And I asked him, why? What's going on? Oh, I've got to do eye surgery tomorrow. I said, where? At Mercy Hospital. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember how we
He had surgery the next day.
The next morning.
Early in the morning.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy still thinks that he can actually go into a human's eye and perform very meticulous time taking surgery after he's been coking or pilling or whatever most of the night and probably the day before.
Yeah, stimulants are fast-acting and short-lived.
So you have to keep hitting it and hitting it.
You have to keep hitting and hitting it.
So I guess his mentality was, I'll go home and catch a couple hours of sleep and, stabilize myself up by whatever means, powder, pills, who knows, who cares, all he has to do is write a prescription and give it to a buddy doctor of his.
How about that airline pilots that were going to fly a plane?
Well, let's get into that, but let's finish this one. Okay, and his buddy the doctor, okays it, and this was before we had all these Walgreens and CVS where they emailed the prescription. This you had to take there or fax there, and go pick it up, and then they would bring it to your house or wherever you were going to be. So remember what we decided to do to protect the people that we are being paid to protect? We called Mercy Hospital. Remember that?
Yes, and we let them know.
And we told the administrator and the head surgeon or head doctor, whatever titles they have, and it's a real doctor, not a do-it-all or mean-it-all PhD, as in the case that we previously spoke about. And, they were really shocked. They said, okay, we'll
we told him he's in no condition to perform surgery. He's been arrested and he's under the influence of a stimulant.
Or several stimulants. And we got the report back from urine, remember that?
We got a positive hit.
Positive hit. And then I wasn't convinced of the voice of the head doctor or administrator, where it was. And I said to, it was a he, I said to him, listen, we're noting this phone call down and we're making a report. You have been advised by a law enforcement agency of the condition or the inability for this doctor to perform any surgery. So if he's your buddy or your friend or whatever, if anything happens, this will be on record for whatever civil action may come out of this.
Yeah, because we spoke to the chief of staff for the hurricane, for the hospital
Right.
that night, and told him what was going on. And we told him we were gonna mention him, that we notified him,
Right?
it was gonna be in our report, like you said, in case of any civil liabilities coming down the pipe later on, that he would be mentioned.
Exactly. Because that's his job. Not to just protect his hospital or make his hospital make more money. It's, for the welfare and well-being and lives of the people that are paying your service. Nobody works for free. So you're either getting paid to the hospital, and you're being subsidized by the federal government, who is our government, and is here to serve and protect us.
Mm-hmm.
But in this day and age, it seems like nobody's home.
I know, it's very sad.
If this were any other country, and I'm going to bring up France, I'm going to bring up Argentina, Spain, everything in the news. You see thousands or tens of thousands of these illegal people marching on the capitals or city halls of these countries.
Yeah,
Demanding, yeah, and rioting, and throwing Molotov cocktails, burning flags, climbing up statues and figures. Okay, so we're just two guys. We've done, as Shakespeare said, we have done our bit or our part for king and country. That's why we don't have a king. Because England does, and still does. And look at all the things that have happened to that royal family. I mean, one of the princesses was, I don't know what you call it, but the queen took away all his royal titles because he was photographed and videotaped in that pedophile Epstein's house or mansion in New York.
Wow.
But then, we have another person that was on Epstein's list, Biden's son. Because for all intents and purposes, this guy is a pedophile. It's been proven, and should be in jail.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen.
Well, that will be, in my opinion, the turning point where we're going to have massive civil disturbances. Because it's out there. Everybody knows about it. Okay? And if they did this to Donald Trump, and I support him for the presidency, but I'm not a Trumpster. I've met so many presidents that I just don't, I got to know a lot of them person face to face and listening, and at the bottom line, they're just a men with the same problems that we all have.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they have the football that's carried, 2 steps behind him by either the Air Force or the Marine, whoever's turn it is. And all he has to do is say, give me that thing. Boom. And who can stop him? Only Congress.
That's right.
Can you convene Congress at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I don't think so.
And, do we have men and women that have the intestinal, mental, spiritual, and humanitarian guts or intestinal fortitude to say, no, sir, you're fucked up and you're not going to destroy the world, not on my watch.
No, we don't have enough of that.
We try to do that, and they practically destroy our world. And now we're seeing it on a macrocosm of our nation. every day we have more revealing documents and papers. Supreme Court, I believe, came down with a decision that Donald Trump has immunity. And
All
then,
presidents have immunity.
well, they didn't give it to him. They didn't give it to him. As far as I'm concerned, that's a coup. You tell me what other coups are.
They charged him in a whole bunch of states, but now they're gonna have to drop all the charges.
No, most states already dropped them. But again, what is a definition of a coup? A coup. You take over the government through force or legal action, but you don't follow the law. You know, and what's disgusting to me more about this is one of the statements that Biden said was, well, if I lose to Trump, I hope it's a close loss. In other words, he's all right with losing as long as it's close to the votes that,
close race.
Yeah, close race that Trump gets. That is lunacy. And that convinces me of, well, I'm going to lose, so it doesn't matter because any Democrat that you put here is also going to lose. So, you know what? I might as well stay on and hopefully I can buy my time, myself and my son's time to kick the, as they say, the can down the road and maybe get some of these charges dismissed.
Yep. It's like losing a game, as long as you lose it by 1 or 2 runs, a baseball game, for example. A loss is a loss.
Yeah, but
Doesn't matter how.
the arrogance, he puts himself before the Democratic Party. He says, I don't care as long as I lose close to Donald Trump. So he says, hey, fuck the Democratic Party. I'm still going to run. And you and I are Democrats, right?
That's correct.
However, I tore up my Democratic card and I'm now a registered Republican because this is a fiasco that we have to make a stand against. And every one of us has to do it. We'll talk about more about that later in another segment, Nelson. Again, I want to thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're very courageous, as always, because coming here, saying the truth, and opining on things that you know, not that you believe, is a great honor and a badge of courage to you.
Well, thank you.
And I thank you very much. My friends, we'll leave you now. Again, God bless America. And now more than ever, God bless Trump.